Each year on our beautiful blue planet, and even beyond, people discover all sorts of mysterious artifacts, the origins of which are sometimes impossible to explain. You are on the FactsRoom channel, and this is a compilation of the most enigmatic finds from around the world. At the end, don't forget to express your opinion with a like or a dislike. Let's go. In Peru, archaeologists, according to the country's Ministry of Culture, discovered a giant figure of a cat carved into the hillside more than 2,000 years ago. This fading geoglyph was found during restoration work on the Nazca Lines, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The cat geoglyph was located on a steep slope, which made it difficult to detect. Initially, it was hard to see due to erosion. Nearby are other lines depicting animals, plants, and geometric figures that appear older than this geoglyph. They were created between 200 and 100 years before our era. The Nazca Lines were discovered in 1994 and became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since then, researchers have uncovered even more giant drawings in this area. Göbekli Tepe, the oldest known cultic center in the world, was built long before the Egyptian pyramids, around 11,500 years ago. This unique archaeological site, located near the Syrian border in southern Turkey, is considered the oldest monumental structure ever erected by humans. Hunter-gatherers built this extensive ceremonial complex, consisting of at least 50 monolithic T-shaped pillars, each adorned with intricate carvings of totemic animals. It is now clear that this was not merely a settlement, but a sacred place where ancient people gathered for rituals. This discovery suggests that religious rites, rather than city building, were the driving force behind the construction of this temple, bringing people together around a common center. More than 30 years ago, a team of archaeologists was exploring a vast cave system on Mount Owen in New Zealand. During their research, they came across a creepy and unusual artifact, a giant claw that was still covered in flesh and scaly skin. In the dim light of the dark cave, the archaeologists could hardly believe their eyes, as the claw was so well preserved that it seemed as if its owner had died only recently. After the claw was extracted and sent for examination, scientists made an astonishing discovery. The artifact turned out to be a mummified claw of a giant moa bird, an enormous ancient bird that went extinct around 3,300 years ago. The mountain moa, or Megalapteryx didinus, was one of the species of extinct birds that lived exclusively in New Zealand. According to DNA studies, the first moa appeared on Earth about 18.5 million years ago, and scientists have established that there were at least 10 different species of these birds. They were completely wiped out due to one of the largest instances of megafauna extinction caused by human activity. In 1974, while drilling a well, Chinese workers stumbled upon thousands of life-sized terracotta statues of warriors ready for battle. These statues are now known as the Terracotta Army or Terracotta Warriors. They were discovered in 3 different pits near the city of Xi'an in Shanxi province. In 1987, this region was transformed into a museum and included on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Archaeologists believe that the tomb, which has not yet been excavated, may contain a precise replica of the city of Xi'an, guarded by these warriors. According to UNESCO, around 8,000 terracotta figures have been discovered at the excavation site, with approximately 2,000 of them already unearthed. Among them are statues of chariots, cavalrymen, armored warriors, and archers, which, according to scientists, were created to protect the emperor in the afterlife. Statues of 9 generals and high-ranking commanders have also been found. Historian Sima Qian warned that traps might have been set in the tomb, and modern archaeologists are hesitant to open it, fearing the artifacts might quickly deteriorate upon exposure to air. The Cockno stone, located in the western part of Dumbartonshire, Scotland, is the best example of European Bronze Age stone carvings. Its surface is covered with hundreds of spiral grooves, cup mark patterns, and geometric shapes that remain a mystery to researchers. For the past 50 years, the stone has been hidden under several layers of soil and vegetation to protect it from vandals. Now, archaeologists plan to unveil it again and, through detailed analysis, learn more about its purpose and the people who created this unique artifact around 5,000 years ago. A wall in Jordan was recently discovered, raising many questions for archaeologists. They are trying to determine when exactly this wall was built, who constructed it, and for what purpose it was used. The wall, known as Kahatchabib, was first spotted in 1948 by Sir Alec Kirkbride, a former British ambassador to Jordan. He noticed it while flying over the country and saw the stone structure stretching across the land. Archaeologists used aerial photography as part of an airborne archaeology project to study the wall. It runs from northeast to southwest, and researchers found sections with two parallel walls, as well as areas where the structure breaks off. The function of the wall remains a mystery, as its low height and narrow width make it unlikely to have been a defensive structure. Some experts suggest that the wall may have served as a barrier between farmers and nomadic tribes. In 1950, Danish farmers digging for peat in the bogs of northern Europe discovered human remains. At first, they mistook them for the victim of a recent murder because of the excellent preservation of the remains, leading to the involvement of the police. The remains had a leather cap on the head and a tightly tied belt around the waist, with a rope looped around the neck. However, further research showed that this person lived during the Iron Age and was likely sacrificed by hanging. The body, known as the Tollund Man, was recovered and is now on display at the Silkeborg Museum in Denmark. The surprising level of detail in his face, chin, stubble, eyelashes, and wrinkles on the skin is all beautifully preserved. Visitors can observe the almost peaceful expression on this ancient victim's face, while the noose used for his execution still wraps around his neck. For years, researchers across various fields have tried to unravel the mystery of the Voynich manuscript. In 2016, it was proposed that its language was based on Hebrew using a computer algorithm, but experts expressed doubts about this method, as a complete translation had not been accomplished. Some believe the manuscript may be a forgery. The document itself, consisting of 240 parchment pages, is adorned with images of plants, zodiac signs, exotic creatures like dragons, castles, and bathing women. These illustrations allowed scientists to divide the manuscript into 6 thematic sections: botanical, astronomical, and astrological, biological, cosmological, medical, and pharmaceutical. However, the exact content of the text remains unknown, as it has yet to be deciphered. Recently, a team of archaeologists from the United Kingdom and Colombia ventured into the remote Colombian Amazon region, Serrana de la Lendosa. There they discovered impressive ancient drawings depicting people and mysterious animals on a large rock face. These findings have been called the Sistine Chapel of the Amazon. It is believed that these images were created approximately 12,500 years ago by the peoples living in this area. Professor of Archaeology Jose Iriarte described the emotions of being in this place as astonishing. He emphasized that the drawings are so detailed and realistic that there is no doubt that what we are looking at is an image of a horse. It is truly awe-inspiring. The Lascaux Cave, located in Montignac in the Dordogne region of southern France, is home to some of the most famous ancient cave paintings. This cave holds about 600 images, mostly of animals, which are depicted on its interior walls. Horses are the most common, but there are also images of deer, aurochs, ibex, bison, and even cats. In addition to these paintings, there are more than 1,400 engravings in a similar style, dating from approximately 17,000 to 15,000 years before our era. The significance of these images in Lascaux, as in other sites, remains a subject of debate among scholars. However, The leading hypothesis links them to ritual or spiritual practices, emphasizing the complexity and sophistication of the ancient people who created them. Now it's time to discuss another intriguing find. Look at this image. Does it look creepy? Don't worry, you're not alone in your doubts. Even the archaeologists who discovered it were puzzled, and it's hard to blame them. They were working on an excavation in an American forest when they stumbled upon this mysterious cannon. As you can see, the cannon is painted green, probably to blend in with the surrounding vegetation. It appears to be attached to some kind of door, perhaps leading to a strange little bunker. At the time of creating this video, archaeologists are still trying to gain access to the bunker, but so far, without success. The Sacsayhuaman complex consists of 3 levels of walls that represent a true engineering masterpiece, built from some of the largest stones ever used by the Incas in their constructions. These stones are so tightly fitted together that no mortar was needed between them. It is likely that this site was once the ruins of a large fortification occupying the area. The surviving walls clearly demonstrate the incredible engineering skills of the Incas. Massive stones of various sizes are interlocked like Tetris pieces, forming the 3 levels of surviving walls. Although most stones are square and rectangular, there is no uniformity in their exact proportions. In some places, it seems that the wall was designed and built on the fly, which is almost impossible given the gigantic scale of the project. It is likely that the massive stones at the lower level of the walls were too large to move, which helped preserve these impressive fortifications. On the 19th of September, 1991, a German tourist named Simone made an astonishing discovery on the border between Italy and Austria. She found the mummified body of a man who, as it was later determined, lived at the age of 25 to 35 years old and was about 158 centimeters tall, weighing around 45 kilograms. It was initially believed that he died from exhaustion or cold while crossing the Alps. However, in 2001, an X-ray examination revealed an arrowhead lodged in the mummy's left shoulder, indicating that he likely died from blood loss due to the injury. The body was quickly covered by snow and preserved in an ice cover that remained intact until modern times, 5,300 years later. The clothing and gear found with him amazed scientists with their variety. He wore a fur cape sewn from the skins of ibex and deer, a grass-woven cloak, and a fur hat for warmth. One of the few places on Earth that can compare in uniqueness to Egypt's Valley of the Whales is Wadi al-Hitan. This site holds a significant number of ancient marine remains. Whale fossils scattered across the wind-swept landscape of sand and stones. These fossils belong to an ancient suborder of whales known as Archaeocetes, which differed from modern whales by having hind limbs. This find confirms the theory that the massive marine giants we know today evolved from creatures that once lived on land. However, despite their significance, these fossils have raised more questions than answers since their discovery in 1902. While hundreds of discovered Archaeocete bones offer a rare glimpse into the final stages of evolution, when whales lost their hind limbs and fully adapted to life in the water, scientists are still unable to determine who was the earliest ancestor of whales. In 2003, at a depth of about 10 meters beneath the Sea of Galilee in Israel, a mysterious round structure was discovered. Its diameter exceeds the length of a Boeing 747 airplane. This discovery was made accidentally by scientists studying the lake's bottom using sonar, but their findings were only recently published. "We just stumbled upon it," says Shmuel Marco, a geophysicist from Tel Aviv University who participated in the study. The lake bed is usually quite flat, so we were surprised when we saw such a large mound. At first, we didn't realize its significance, but after consulting with archaeologists, we were told that it is likely an exceptionally large monument from the Bronze Age. Marco, who also dived with scuba gear to study the structure, suggests that it may have been built underwater as a specialized fish nursery, based on its size and location. However, archaeologists believe that the structure was built on land and flooded much later. That concludes today's episode. As always, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe to the FactsRoom channel, and check out our previous videos with the most amazing discoveries.